Well, hello. My name is Bill, and I am the man with the master plan, aka the Game Master for Eberron Adventures. So glad you decided to click the play button. What you're about to listen to is a recap of Eberron Adventures Year 1 from the Wednesday Night crew. I will play you a few clips and talk about some pivotal moments in our characters' lives that have happened thus far. This will contain a bunch of spoilers if you have not listened to the earlier episodes, so consider yourself warned. So sit back, relax, and listen to our Eberron Adventures Year 1 recap, brought to you by no one, because we're not sponsored yet. Before we talk about our characters, why don't we spend a little bit of time talking about our NPCs? There's been a few standouts, most importantly, starting with Sable.
Hi. My name is Sybil. Sir Sable Chisholm. That's Chisholm. I'm a halfling that is from House Jurasco. We're a healing house, but I wish to take my life in a different path. I want to learn how to be a druid. I like trees. I like nature way more than man. No offense to you. But I'm here on a full scholarship from the Urgent Care organization. But my parents, unfortunately, are not aware of my choices or of educational path. A fun thing I like to do is take nature walks. I can't wait to wander the forest.
A halfling druid that has gone through some shit. I don't think she ever recovered from being given the corpse flowers in episode 2.
Yeah, so first you see like Sable like starts to like flail around, like flail her arms around wildly. And she's trying to pull the sack off of her head and can't pull the sack off of her head. And once you all enter the water, you feel like you break out of whatever trance you were in. And now you're all like just in the water in this cage, like basically like imprisoned inside this cage. You see Sable's like freaking out, like with this like the sack or this hood thing that's like on her head.
We know that Lissa is her best friend. She loves spending time with her.
Lissa has been becoming besties with Sable. They go out to the woods all the time. She started sitting on some druid classes with her. They have bonded so deeply over their love of nature and animals. And yeah, they've got a real good friendship going there.
They are greeted by Lissa's parents, Phyllis and Jacob, who warmly welcome Sable and engage in a heartfelt conversation about Lissa and her character, and emphasizing that her pursuit of mage breeding does not define her worth. Sable comes up and says, "Hi, so nice to meet you. I love your daughter. She's awesome. She's my best friend ever."
And will spend as much time as she can with her. And she also looks out and protects her too, which is apparent in some of the later episodes when she gets her own little version of barbarian rage that we call Lissa Rage.
Leave my friends alone. I'm contributing. I'm doing a good job. I'm helping. Damn it, I'm helping.
Yeah, you are, Sable. Go, Sable.
Nobody needs to judge me.
Let's meet Carl Merlot, a warforged with an erased memory who just wants to forge a new path for himself of inner peace and healing.
Hello. My name is Carl Merlot. I am a warforged. Although I have no memory of it, my creator told me that I fought in the war and witnessed the mourning. I've since been set free to explore and find myself and find purpose. I identify as male, although warforged have no gender. My creator treated me as an equal, not as their war machine. One thing I like to do for fun is meditate and make herbal salves that aid in meditation. I spent time in solitude right after my creator reset me, and then through meditation decided that I needed to get an education. I wish not to be erased again. Thank you. He bows and goes back to the group.
Plus, he really wants to make some friends. And Sorrel Marrowneed. We haven't seen too much of him just yet, but he seems to know something wicked is coming.
Sorrel Marrowneed, hi. I want to be a healer. I need to heal myself. I need to heal others. I need to protect this world from what's coming. I need to try to stop what's coming. It's coming for me. It's coming for all of us. And he looks over at you, Azuri, and he's like he's almost like he's talking right to you. And but he's like looking through you. I have no family, and I do not do things for fun. Everything is calculated. Everything has a reason. He points down at the ground and counts 53 great pebbles, 5 twigs, 121 ants, and goes back to the group.
Last of the student NPCs we have is Axford Dilgrassi. He's a bard that turns out thinks he's way more talented than he actually is. Although he had quite the presence in year 1, I'm sure we haven't seen the last of him.
A slender elf steps forward and begins to speak. Says, hello, my name is Axford Dilgrassi. I'm an elf of the House Thorani, and I am here to hone my skills in the bardic profession. He turns around and bows to you all. Some members of my family have disgraced my house and my family by resorting to a life of crime. I've come here to educate myself and then return to my house upon graduation as a stronger house agent that could potentially lead my family back to greatness within the house. I said house a lot, didn't I? I do that a lot. I just really care about my house. He looks down at the ground and looks up at you and says, I love to learn songs on my lute and rock out.
And last, but certainly not least, in our group of NPCs is good old Dean Branchbreaker, a lizard folk that is the face of Windshire University. He has taken a special interest in this group of students, most importantly in Skogar and in Jack.
Hello, I am Dean Carter Branchbreaker. He takes a half bow. I run Windshire University. This school is an all-inclusive university with a focus on real-life, experience-based learning. He says, what does this mean, you may ask? Well, I will tell you. Experience-based learning, or EBL, is a new form of teaching that we at Windshire are the pioneers of. It means you will spend some time in the classroom. You will also spend some time out in the field, taking short adventures to hone the skills that you are being taught. You'll be happy to know that we have not had a death yet.
Now that you've met our most important NPCs, let's take time to meet the players. We have Skogar, a half-orc fighter.
Skogar steps forward. You see that he's a taller, gray half-orc. His body looks kind of very scarred over in a peculiar fashion. He's dressed in pretty simple clothes, but very tight and neat. And he says, well, I'm Skogar from House Thrash, out in the salt marsh, or the Shadow Marshes. I come from a family of simple miners and nothing else. I'm here to educate myself on geological matters, maps, surveying, and most importantly, tracking things across the land.
That sounds great. And what do you like to do for fun?
Maps and tracking things up on the land.
So Skogar's really tall. You'll notice that he's got a grayish, tannish skin, being a traditional half-orc.
Okay.
The most telling characteristic about Skogar, the easiest way to pick him out of a crowd, is that due to his allergic reactions to metals, he's got lots of scars and pockmarked skin. He's pretty gruesome looking. He wears pretty basic drab, mostly darker gray colors, just your standard pants and tunic. The armor that he's donned, that you guys have seen in the past, has been made out of bone links, and he carries that bone greatsword, which is quite tall. The sword is 6 foot long. You know, he's a commanding presence with this huge sword. There's nothing magical about it. It's just a big piece of bone.
Jack, a changeling who's been a rogue, but I think that's still up for debate.
Oh yeah, so I'm Jack. Just a regular guy trying to make it in this university here. I'm just kind of going like a more martial path. I wasn't sure if just like straight fighter or maybe ranger school would be kind of interesting. I also like walking through nature, and I wink at Sybil over there. I also like walking in nature, but I think probably my favorite thing to do is just people watching, just really observing what they're doing, how they act. Sometimes I'll just sit there quietly. I can just watch people go by and it's great. I love it. So you can learn a lot by just sitting there quietly and just watching people sometimes. And that's one of the things I love to do. But I also love interacting with people. Jack's style has changed since he's gotten here. Like at first he came in just brown hair, wearing his blaze ball, Windshire gear. And for a while there, he was doing the blonde hair look, for whatever reason. Kind of even did like the sweater around his, around his neck. But ever since, for a while now, like he let the blonde hair, like it just one night, like it just changed overnight. All of a sudden he was back to being brown haired. And, he started wearing more, I guess you could say earthy clothes, like more leathers and furs. And he's kind of it seems like he's gotten bigger, like whether he's had a growth spurt or, his muscles, he's been working out in the gym maybe, but like, he's looking bigger than he did when he started, like a little less, I don't know. He just looked like a regular guy when he came in, but now he looks like a regular guy who's gotten a little bit buff. And, so a lot of his outfits now are leathers, and he's, it's getting wintertime, so he's wearing bulky furs. He always has a Windshire scarf on, but he does, he's got these leathers and like, maybe like a flannel, but fur line. He's definitely going for that earthy look.
Okay.
That ranger look, that druid look, as if it were.
Lissa Fernwillow, a human wizard.
So I'm Lissa Fernwillow, and I'm from House Vitalis. My family breeds horses, and might I say we make pretty good horses, or raise very good horses. But yeah, so let's see. Oh, I want to study mage breeding. My dad's not really into it, but neither is my mom.
Her eyes perk up. She's like, that is our most sought after concentration. Right?
Yes, I heard a lot of good things about it here.
I'm sure. I am sure that we can turn your father around. I'm sure we can.
Right.
We can get him to think differently.
Well, we'll see. But yeah, so for fun, I like to ride my horse through the wilderness. So yeah, Sable, anytime you want to go out in the woods, that'd be a great time.
All right. So Lissa is a tall human, about 5'8", we'll say. She's got straight black hair that goes all the way down to her waist with deep green eyes and tan because she spends a lot of time outside. So yes, lots of sun on her skin. A typical outfit, let's say she likes the bright colors on a dark background. So she has her favorite pair of hot pink boots. Maybe not hot pink, but like a nice bright pink. And then her black trousers are kind of like tucked into them. And then she'll wear like a dark, maybe black or like a deep purple, midnight blue tunic with the pink etching around it, the trim, nice bright trim. And then a scarf. She likes to wear a fashionable scarf, not one like wool or anything, but just like a nice light cotton scarf wraps around her neck. Looks really cute. And then, of course, you'll always see her with her yellow backpack. It usually has some books in it, looks pretty heavy, or you might see her trying to sneak in some critters to the dorms, some chipmunks or mice or things like that to hang out with because she loves animals.
Izuri, a Kalashtar cleric.
Hi. I'm Azuri. I'm here for the clerics track. The Be Strong Fighters. Is clerics. That's the one. And I have parents. And for fun, I like to meditate. So Azuri is a Kalishtar and is about 5'6", a little bit shorter for a Kalishtar, but fairly well built. However, it's hard for most people to tell this because he is rarely, if ever, seen without his gray long poncho. It has a hood, and he keeps it up almost all the time. And this poncho is very well loved and is just about the plainest gray you have ever seen. He has brown boots on beneath it that are well loved and have a hole in them. But he tells everyone that they fit just fine and are more comfy than any boots he's ever tried and doesn't want to get rid of them or have them mended or anything. And his skin is fair, but again, this is typically hidden beneath a gray hood that he keeps up. Jewelry-wise, he has his holy symbol. It is a piece of smoky quartz that is around a necklace that has sort of the silver viney stuff to hold it together to the pendant. When he does have to go out on battle, he throws chainmail over top of this gray hoodie, and it like sticks out in weird ways. This gray poncho, and it doesn't look like it would be very comfy at all. And he's a little bit awkward while doing it, but he has this gray hoodie, this gray poncho on the entire time.
I'm just going to kind of blend in and be here sort of vibe.
Yeah, this is more of the I don't want anyone to see my face or basically anything about me ever, and plain gray covering most of my body seemed like the most effective way of doing that.
Lucar Stillshower, a halfling sorcerer.
Hi, I'm Lucar. I go by Luke. I'm a halfling, as you might guess, but like my family situation's sort of weird. Like I was adopted. I've actually never seen another halfling before in my life, so it's sort of weird being adopted, but it's cool. My parents really love me, and I'm here to like control this magic, like try to figure out how to use magic better, because it's sort of weird how it works. I don't quite understand it. What else did you want me to say? I can't remember.
What's your favorite thing that you like to do?
Oh, right. I don't know. Like, I'm not sure what I like to do. And as I'm going through my vest, I pull out a drumstick and I start eating it. And I'm like, I'm not sure. Oh, I guess I like to eat a lot. And I'm eating the drumstick that I pulled out of my jacket. Yeah, so Lucar, as a Lightfoot halfling, probably comes up to Skogar's a little over his kneecap, I'm guessing. He has pale skin, blue eyes, and wears his hair sort of long, long hair almost down to his shoulder. Like a typical halfling, or maybe a prototypical halfling, he's got like a vest covered by another vest, covered by a trench coat. And all of those, and underneath the vest is like a sweater. So like he's got a sweater and a bunch of vests and then a trench coat. And all of those things have like tons and tons of pockets, like Rob Liefeld, circa 1990 X-Men pockets and pouches and stuff. He's got boots that come up to his like knee, but obviously they would be like low tops for Skogar, but they come up to his knee, and even his boots, like lots of laces in the front, but there's a pouch on each side of his boots too. And all these, they're overflowing with stuff. And then most importantly, he has a ring, which is his arcane focus. And it's the ring of the silver flame. And it's a silver ring, and it sort of has like a blue glow to it.
And Velma, a human rogue. Although I'd like to think she's been more of a private investigator.
You see that Velma is a petite woman, half elven, obviously. She has dark hair for now, thick glasses, and that camera she keeps snapping away with. Hi, I'm Velma. My father was a journalist, and I guess I'm here to follow in his tracks. What I do for fun is Well, it's not nature photography. People think I'm nosy. I've been called a meddling kid more than once. But my primary motivation is just to find the truth. I just want to find out who's pulling the strings. I guess investigative journalism.
Well, Velma is about 5 feet tall, so, not particularly imposing, not diminutive. On campus, she's a typical girl with her jeans and T-shirts. She does not wear band T-shirts because Skogar, if anybody doesn't acknowledge how great the murder hobos are, he can get intimidating.
Yeah.
So it's best not to challenge him on that. She wears white athletic socks and trainers. When she goes out on an adventure, she has a puffy orange sweater. She's never seen without her camera. And part B, right now she's got glasses, just respectable horn rims. Her hair right now is black, straight, off the shoulder, and her eyes are violet for now, and her dragon mark you have not seen because it looks like a tasteful tattoo on her ankle, which is always covered by her athletic socks.
As we continue to learn more about our 6 characters, we get to hear that they are not just some run-of-the-mill students at a special college, but they're also learning how to be heroes and be there for each other through good times and bad times. In this last part of the recap, we're going to talk about a few of those pivotal moments for the characters as they continue to evolve who they are as a person and as an adventurer. Let's take Lukar for starters. When he got to school, he was just a halfling sorcerer that discovered he had magical powers. What he is in fact discovering is that he is a magic user that is quite powerful, all thanks to his patron, Astrid the Unbound. It seems there is much more than meets the eye to this friendship. This is how they first met.
And you see an image in the mirror, and it's like a ghostly image, and it looks like the shape of a head, and it starts to form more and more into the shape of a head, and you see some sort of a tangible face of some kind, but it's not just one face; it's multiple faces
on one head.
Yes. Yeah, it's like superimposed faces over each other, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then they actually speak to you. Okay. And it sounds like this.
Oh, I see you started using your magic. What an exciting time for you. I'm sure you have many questions. Are you enjoying the power it gives you? You should. This was all my idea, after all. We need you to be powerful. After all, you are the grounded one of the family. We need the level-headed one to be very powerful. We need you to come home when you graduate school.
And then the face pauses for a second.
Do these faces look like halfling faces, human faces? Can I tell something different?
Humanoid.
Okay.
So it's kind of an embodiment, if you will, of different faces. Different types, right? But all humanoid. So you get a little bit of elvish vibes, you get a little bit of halfling vibes, you get a little bit of human vibes, you like anything that's more humanoid in nature, not so much like, orc, ogre, that kind of stuff.
Before what happens, I want to cast Detect Magic to see, is this the mirror that's doing this? Is this some other item that's like pushing this out? Or is this just really a spectral ghost of some sort?
It is not the mirror.
Yep.
And the faces speak at you again.
All you need to know about me right now is that I am your patron. your higher power, your reason for being, well, you. Over time, you will understand how powerful you truly are, and you will ditch those shopkeepers you have such an attachment to, and get back to where you belong. For now, though, be the best sorcerer you can be. We need you to get strong. You're probably wondering what my name is. Just call me Astra the Unbound. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
But then all of a sudden,
I missed that. Was it Astrid or Astra?
Astrid
the Unbound.
Astrid the Unbound. And then right after it says, okay, thanks, bye. Then and the faces start to disappear. Then they come back real quick and speak to you one more time.
Oh shit. Wait. I almost forgot. Check your mailbox. We left you something to help with speeding up the learning process. Okay? Later, Tater.
Man, these damn Gen Z apparitions. Okay, so...
And then the faces disappear and the mirror turns back to normal.
So first I'm like, ditch mom and dad, what the hell? And then...
Fair.
And then I'm like, all right, let me go check out my mailbox.
Yes. It wasn't long after this that Lucar used Fireball for the first time and killed Velma. She came back to life, but we'll get to that. Skogar got himself into some trouble early on that he doesn't even remember doing. This made for a strained relationship with the Dean. Let's listen to that, shall we?
Please enter. And one of them opens the door and walks you in, Skogar. And the Dean says, "Oh, it's you. Have a seat." And then he tells security, "Be gone. This is a one-on-one conversation." And then his security leaves and closes the door behind him.
As Skogar sits down, he turns his chair around like stereotypical slacker sitting on a chair, like turns it around and like sits over, straddles it, sits his elbow down on the top of the chair.
And he says, "Young man, I'd like to know why you thought it'd be prudent to perform the vandalism that you performed on our campus."
I guess I'd like to know that myself. You see, I don't have any recollection of what happened because I was just hanging out with all right,
Carl Merlot.
Carl Merlot.
So the dean kind of looks you up and down, and he's like, "Well, we did speak with Carl, and he said that there were some evenings when you were not together, as you were not together the entire time.
Well,
although he did vouch for you for a considerable amount of the days over the last few weeks. So you're getting on well with him then. That's good.
That was nice of him.
He could use friends."
Yeah, he taught me a thing or two about a sword, so I can show you that. See that little up flick at the end?
Swinging a sword. Skogar swinging a sword in the dean's office.
Dean leans back, puts his hands up, and he's like, "No, calm. Let's calm down. I am sure you have some good swordsmanship. It's a very interesting sword. Is that bone?"
Yeah, that's some ancient beast bone that we found down in mines. Father's.
That's going to be important. He said, but what's more important is your respect for your alma mater, and I think that there should be some sort of penance to be paid for this.
Skogar is a wild one, that's for sure. He loves the Murder Hobos more than any other band ever. And he also found out that his father had been lying to him about what sort of bounty hunter he was, which put a serious strain on their relationship. Hopefully they got a chance to mend over summer break. Oh, dear, sweet Lissa. She's had it the worst of all. Not only does her father hate her, but she also lost her mother, who was killed on Parents' Weekend. Let's relive a bit of that trauma.
You see your father is tending to your horse. And it kind of makes you, you don't like the way he's handling your horse. And it kind of makes you a little bit irritated. What do you think you want to do about that?
I say, hey, Dad, you don't need to worry about doing that. I can take care of my horse. I've been doing it for years.
And he looks at you. He looks at you with this scowl, and he's like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna cast a spell on it and make its hair all unnappy. It's like, I really need you to reconsider your path. As you say that and kind of rebuild your confidence, your smart stone starts ringing.
I answer it.
And it's your mom.
Hey, Liz.
Hey, Mom.
You really put our family in a very awkward position, sweetie. I really wish I understood why this was so important to you. I still don't get it. I love you and I support you, but I still don't get it.
It's about the beauty of nature and the beauty of magic and putting them together to making something even more powerful than the sums of their parts. I really think that this is the future.
And then she's like,
I love you unconditionally. I know in your heart you are a good person and will do right by the family name. I know that your dad's really mad at you right now, but maybe by the time you graduate, you'll turn around a little.
Now, mind you, that's like 3 years away.
I'll show him. I'll show you. I promise.
I swear he does still love you, even though it may not seem like it sometimes.
And it sounds like she's convincing herself when she says that. Do an insight check.
Oh no. That is a 13.
Yeah, you definitely think she is trying to convince herself of that statement.
Okay, well, I've got to go, so I'll talk to you soon. Love you. You take care.
All right, love you too.
We'll see you on Parents' Weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And then came the moment that changed Lissa's life forever.
Guys, my parents are in trouble. We have to go back to the school. Their camper is out front. There's a trash centaurs. I don't know what they mean, but we need to go help them. Guys, where are you? Skogart, come on, please.
See that your mom is laying on the ground, and your father is holding her upper half in his arms. He's like essentially screaming out to the air, yelling, "No! No!" And there's a seething anger on his face that you've never seen as he stares at these centaurs that are sort of kind of like circling. He says, Why in the name of, why would you do this? We weren't, she wasn't hurting anybody. And you can hear him starting to like cry, angry cry. And the one centaur says, we just need money, brother. It's nothing personal at all. It's just the nature of the business. Comes with casualties.
Lissa runs forward and she's like shouting, Mom, Dad, what's going on?
Your dad sees you running over.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, no, stop. You did this. This is all your fault. He looks back down at your mom, angry, crying, and trying to talk at the same time. If we told you no, that you couldn't go to this trash school and insisted upon it, and we insisted that you couldn't go, then your mom might still be, and he just starts.
Lissa stops short.
Crying heavily.
And she turns around and looks at these centaurs, and she would like to just attack them. She's very angry. Yep.
Okay. And he walks up to you and he says in a very, very eerily calm voice. He says, "Here. This was supposed to be a surprise for you from your mom. And now this is what you get to remember her by." And he shoves a box into your hands. And he says, I never want to see you again, girl. You've done enough damage to this family. Enjoy this mage breeding nonsense while it lasts. I don't have a daughter anymore. And he walks away, and he goes and he picks up, because as he let your mom down, like your mom just kind of went, right? So he goes back over, and he picks her up in both arms, and he's like, kind of like, you see him like kind of bend down, like kind of squats down a little bit, like to adjust himself for the weight, and starts to trudge to the coach with your mom's body.
Lissa doesn't say anything. She's gonna call her basilisk back, and man, does she look in the box? Yeah, she's gonna look in the box. Maybe, I don't know. I don't think she wants to look in the box yet.
You already said it though.
All right. Yes, okay. So Lissa doesn't say a word. She just looks in the box.
And she opens the box, and now it's like maybe like an 8.5 by 11 size box. You open it up, and there's a folded up piece of paper, like a note, right? With like a sheet of tissue paper underneath that, and then you lift up the corner of the tissue paper, and it's 6 scones. And the as you open the note to take a glance at it, it says here, I'm giving you the recipe. I know you can do it. I believe in you. And I made you some as a reference. It says I love you. And it says love, Mom.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And so he gets onto the coach, and he gets to the front. You see him through like an opening window in the front of the coach, and you hear these clicks and stuff, and like rattling and clicks and noises as he starts to flip on switches, and you can hear like this like electrical energy like kind of start to hum, and like this coach kind of comes to life as it had just been sitting there looking like it was just a regular like coach, you know. Is there anything you want to do or say while that's happening?
I want to whisper to. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I want to whisper to Astrid. Astrid, is there any way we could bring Lissa's mom back? Do you have that power? Is there anyone at the university who has that power?
So I'm gonna have to message Lucar. This is going to be an internal monologue.
Yeah. Okay.
An internal dialogue that's going to happen here for a brief second. So does anybody else want to do anything? They can take like basically like a quick action turn to do something if they so desire, while I quickly send a message to Lucar. Anybody want to do anything?
I'll start looting the corpses, but like anything that seems like it's like Lissa's, I'll try to like, I'm not going to like hide it, I guess, just be like, here's the stuff I gathered, take what's yours kind of deal,
Mm-hmm.
Even Jack has a little bit of
a heart.
A little bit in this moment, yeah.
Lissa is just staring at the scones.
Just as the coach gets ready to start moving away, he leans out, and this time he starts to talk to you, and he actually his voice like sounds like your dad now. It doesn't sound like the angry guy that he's been for the last like month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever, since you started school. So his tone takes that kind of a tone, like the dad voice that you remember before all of his negativity started to happen of you going to school here. And he says, you know, Liz, it's a damn shame that I need to plan the burial for your mother and the love of my life and he starts to get choked up a bit, and he says, when deep in my heart I question if it would be easier on me if it was you. And then they start to move away.
Wow. Melissa doesn't say that, but I'm saying that. Wow. Melissa just stares at him. Then she looks away. She looks back at the box.
So so I think it's I kind of feel like probably it's time. Let's do a little dialogue amongst the players here, and some kind of self-care to sort of what's going on? What's everybody's characters thinking, feeling, doing?
I'm going to put a hand on Lisa's shoulder, and that is a broken man who can say such an awful thing. Then we'll have a moment of like silence bonding. I don't know if she shrugs me off because she's angry or.
No, she likes you. She'll let Velma comfort her.
Then there is our investigator Velma. She actually died at the hands of one of her friends. By accident, of course. Not really sure what this will mean for her, but she's alive thanks to the handy magic dagger she has. I'm sure it will be fine. Let's listen to how that went down.
And I'm right behind him, and I whisper into his ear, "Watch this!" And then I cast Fireball right on the yes sound.
Okay.
Right? Isn't it?
Tell me, Fireball.
You check, man, because I'm not looking. So
somebody just gave me these powers and didn't really tell me how to use it.
That's okay. So you just throw fireballs out there without even understanding what you're doing.
20-foot radius.
Blue car, man.
From the center, right?
20-foot radius, centered on a point.
Okay.
Which would be worse, a radius or a diameter? What would?
Well,
somebody, Emily,
instead of centering it on the dog, you could have centered it like 20 feet to the south.
But here's the thing.
He didn't.
Lucar didn't say that.
I was not thinking about that.
So, okay, so the fireball hits.
I have a feeling that when I transformed away from being Slad, like for a while there, my intelligence was still at Slad level.
Exactly.
Like it just didn't carry over.
So
sure, Jen.
Okay. So here's what's going to happen. So I need you to roll. So Lucar, I need you to roll the damage. All right.
Yep.
And then here's who needs to make dex saves. Velma can't roll a dex save because Velma's down.
Oh, you just killed Velma further. Lucar, bro.
And then Seamus and Big Wing.
I guess you can only kill the wrong things.
Okay.
That's
wait, that's 20-foot reach is that far out?
These are 5-foot squares, bro.
Yeah.
Velma. What happens to Velma is what I want to know. 34 points of fire damage was done to Velma, who is down and was put at 0. So what is Velma's status right now?
Velma, then, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Hear you.
Well, Velma is dead if we're playing by that. Usually a damage to a unconscious, a dead person is a automatic failed save. But if we're taking hit point damage, then yes, she's dead.
As
She's
Velma shuffles off this mortal coil, she said, I really hope Seamus and that Galvin were part of a worthy cause.
And as you
Tying back to the beginning of
you
the
think that with your
episode.
final thoughts of your connected living brain before you are shuffled off to this mortal coil, Seamus also drops dead from fireball damage, and Big Wing drops dead from fireball damage.
You turn into a potted plant until the start of your next turn. While a plant, you are incapacitated and have vulnerability to all damage. If you drop to 0, your pot breaks and your form reverts.
So as you
got to be Astrid's doing.
As you turn into a plant, Astrid says, you see, this is what you get. It's not my job.
It's not my job to teach you anything.
That's your responsibility.
And you're just going to listen to me because you're a plant, so you can't fucking talk to me.
So you're just going to have to listen to what I got to say to you.
It's not my job to teach you. It's your job to teach yourself.
I'm here to provide feedback
and positive reinforcement. Killing your friend and some of the
faculty is not
helping this situation. And that's on you, bro. That is on you.
And then the white noise goes away.
Well, what are we going to do about Velma?
Dude,
and my teacher. They're going to kick me out of Windshire.
You need to not cast fireballs in the center of all your friends.
I didn't realize how big it was going to be.
I mean, that's what she said.
But, so, okay. I understand that.
I don't know that I can.
I don't know that I can help you
with.
I
got nothing to help you bring those guys back. I mean, I think you got to
build a story.
Because if you're the only ones left alive, you just got to get everybody on the same page with
what the story's going to be.
And maybe they'll cover for you. And then the white noise disappears and Astrid's gone. So let's see. So Azuri, you're right next to Velma.
Oh yeah.
And you look and you see that there's this energy that starts to form like over Velma. You see that there's this dagger that's in her hand as she's laying down, dead. Dagger's in her hand. And you see this energy that starts to like float above her chest, and it's this dark energy, and it starts to branch out over the top of her body, and you see branches go down her arms and then down her legs, and then you see these like little, it almost looks like veins, like these black veins, like almost like symbiote type style vibes of this black energy going up her neck and then ultimately covering her face with like a net of this black energy. And then you see her entire body go stiff and like lift off the ground for a second. And then she begins to rise up and like turn 90 degrees. And then Velma stands before you, covered in this black energy. The black energy then dissipates. Velma, you are back to a state of consciousness with 1 HP. Azuri, do a perception check, please.
Religion check or perception?
Perception with advantage first.
Same number. Perception 12.
Okay. You swear you can see as the blackness disappears, you swear you can see it like in her eyes swirling around for a second, and then it's gone. Lucar, the white noise comes back and Astrid goes,
dude,
What the hell is that?
I don't know. I didn't know if she was haunting me or if it was something that you were doing.
That wasn't me, man. I don't know what the hell that was. I don't know, man. That's not whatever it is. That cannot be good.
I look at my hands and say, do I have other powers I can't control?
You didn't.
Am I
You
doing
didn't.
this?
No, you didn't. No, bro. You didn't do that. That wasn't you. That wasn't you.
Okay.
No, you don't. You don't know that. You don't know that kind of magic.
That's some dark shit.
You just know wacky stuff. Well, except for the fireball that kills people. But that was some dark magic.
And
it's like
you might want to keep an eye on that one.
And then the white noise goes away.
As I wake up, I finish my dying thought, Ailent, and then I look around. What the hell happened here? But my first action, besides expressing incredulity, I check my camera to make sure it's still okay.
Well, Lucar looks like no harm, no foul. You know, no big deal. It's all good.
I mean,
thanks for the deals, Missouri.
Well,
you always come through.
I mean, I don't know them like I know Velma. Velma's like a roommate and everything. You know, like that's part of the group. These, you know. I mean, I feel bad for the teachers, but you know.
And Velma, you swear you just hear like this little whisper in your head, just says, "Oh me." That's all you hear. Left as quick as it came on in your brain.
Good old Azuri. Over his first year, he got a little bit braver. Not much, but a little bit. He's starting to get more comfortable in his skin, which is great. However, things were turned upside down when the person that was killed, who protected him when he ran away from home, has suddenly reappeared in the Windshire Library to greet him. Jace is back. Wonder what he wants.
Azuri, you see on a bench that's over near some bookshelves, just a little bit off to the side from the main desk where one of the main librarians is. As I wasn't fully prepared for this, I don't have a name ready to go of one of the past people that you always interacted with, but we'll say it's one of them. So they like, "Oh, Azuri, haven't seen you in a while. You haven't had need to get any books, huh?"
I got one of those cool new like e-things, and I've been reading all the like really latest releases on them. It's really cool. I kind of wish I was reading now, but I'm here with Velma, and then I'll probably read after.
Why would those things are going to be the downfall of libraries and bookstores? Why would you do that?
Well, I'll be. Don't worry. I'll be here. It's the shiny new thing. You know. I'll be back. Don't worry. I'll be here.
Okay. And as you say that, a voice that you recognize, from off to the side by these benches, speaks and says, "Yeah, E, that seems pretty convincing. You wouldn't just desert your precious books like that, would you? Like you would maybe desert a person?" And you look and you see a figure in a gray robe, and a hood up. And as they pulled down their hood, who do you think you see before you?
I have a feeling this is going to go ahead and be Jace.
Yes, you see. You see Jace, the Dusk Cleric, who you were sure and thought was dead, is standing in this library, looking at you. And then as he says the weird like off-color joke, at the end, he walks up to you, and he just gives you a big hug. And that's where we're gonna pause you.
Finally, we have Jack. Jack got quite sick, nearly to death, as he caught the blurring virus that can be deadly to a changeling. The rest of the gang doesn't know he's a changeling, and I'm not sure how much longer he can hide it, but we'll see. Here's a pivotal moment from his one shot to find the cure.
It's like I realize there's more out there, I guess, more to, I've got these. It's. I know you're a scientist, right? You think practically and logically and all that, and I'd like to think that I used to feel that way too. Just do what's best for me and not think about it, not get tied down. And I don't even know why I went to that school. What I thought they would give me that I was missing, and then with studies and all that, but there's this group of idiots that I hang out with. Okay, they're so. I mean, I just wonder about them. It's like how do they get through life? Just caring about each other and not think about themselves. And it's, I don't know. It's kind of weird, and it kind of moved me in certain ways that, like, let's say I've never felt before. And I don't know. It's, I guess what I'm trying to say is, there's more to me that changed besides my face. And, I guess I'm seeing more of the world and more of, maybe it's maturity, maybe it's growing up, maybe it's finding real friends, real people who care. But I'm getting all maudlin over here. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I don't want to just die like this, some blur going away. I want more out of this life, and I'll do whatever I can to get more out of this life. And if that means taking some weird concoction of blood and life forces from might as well be dead fellow changelings, and so be it.
Okay. Well, I think it sounds like you've made your decision. Do you believe in a higher power?
I've been thinking about that a lot lately too. I mean, look around. I mean, maybe there is. Missouri gets his power from someone, somewhere. Even there's got to be, right? I mean, there's that proof, that the clerical proof that, and maybe it's in the grand scheme of things, maybe it's all I don't know, like a scam. I'm not sure if that's the word I want, but maybe there's there gods and this. Maybe there's something bigger out there, and we can't understand it, so it puts it in ways that we can't understand, like a hierarchy, as it were. Like, what if there's just one thing up there and it's unknowable, I guess. But I feel like it's there, I feel like there's something beyond this veil. I think there's proof of that, right? There's something more than just this. And maybe we don't get it, and we can only get pieces of it here and there. And maybe if we get too much of it, we go crazy. Maybe if we get too little of it, we go crazy.
Some might say you're never going to survive unless you get a little crazy. Well, then let's do it then, shall we?
Yes, let's seal the deal.
So, as you can hear, all of the group is growing and changing in different ways. This wasn't even all of the things that happened. There was the whole story about Axford being treated bad by the group and his obsessive reaction to it. There was the emo vampire, the rich toy collector, and so much more. So this was, in a nutshell, Season 1, or Year 1, of Eberron Adventures. As the man with the master plan, I can confidently tell you that there's so much more craziness coming. I hope you continue to listen to this campaign as it evolves and travel on the journey with us. And be sure to listen to all of our other episodes when we take hiatus from this story to bring you things like Ice Fleet or Alien the Role-Playing Game. There's sure to be more of that coming in Season 2. And thanks so much for your support. If you like what you hear, tell your friends about us. We're available on Spotify, Google, Amazon, Apple Podcasts, and more. You can also check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Eberron Adventures. And as always, see you next week.